Hello again, grade 7 learners. Welcome again to our Math O'Clock with Teacher Kat. So on this second video for the week, we will be discussing expressing rational numbers from fraction form to decimal form. So now that you have understand and learned the different properties of integers, we will now be moving on to our the next level, which is the rational numbers. And this time, we will test your skill in converting fractions into decimals. So you are expected at the end of this lesson to be able to express rational numbers from fraction form to decimal form. But before we do that, let us have first a quick review on the real number system. So the real number system is divided into two. We have the rational numbers and irrational numbers. Rational numbers are numbers that can be expressed as quotient of two numbers. So these are the result when we divide two numbers. Okay? So rational numbers can be in the form of fractions or in decimals or in any other forms. Later on, you will meet the other forms of rational numbers. Let us have first the fractions. All fractions are considered as rational numbers. So, whether it be a proper fraction, improper fraction, or mixed fraction, all of which are considered to be rational numbers. So, an example of which, or examples of which, are 1/2, 3/4, and 1/2. Sorry, 1/2 is repeated. Okay? And aside from these fractions, we also have the decimals. So for the decimals, we can have 0.5, 0.15, and 0.25 bar. But please do take note that not all decimals are considered to be rational numbers. It doesn't mean that you have seen a decimal point, it is automatically considered as rational numbers. Decimals under rational numbers are the decimals that are terminating or with an end. So an example of decimal with or terminating decimal is 0.5 and 0.15. Another type of decimal that can be considered as rational numbers are the non-terminating and repeating decimals. These are the decimals with the repeated numbers with the ellipsis at the end, or some are written with a bar on the top, just like 0.25 bar. So that is an example of a repeating decimal. Again, terminating decimals are under rational numbers, and non-terminating and repeating decimals are also rational numbers. Take note of that. Not all decimals are rational numbers. Okay? So aside from fractions and decimals, rational numbers can also be in the form of integers. So integers, which includes your positive numbers, zero, and negative integers. And under these integers, one subset of this integer is your whole numbers. The set of whole numbers, always take note that whole numbers start with 0. Negative integers are not included in the set of whole numbers. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so on and so forth. That's why we have the ellipsis on that part. And another, under whole numbers, we also have the natural numbers or the set of natural numbers. So all of these are considered as rational numbers. Again, what are these numbers, or what are the numbers that are considered to be rational? They are the fractions, they are the terminating decimals, repeating decimals, integers, whole numbers, and natural numbers. Ma'am, how about irrational numbers? So, what do you think is the difference of rational and irrational numbers? Okay, let's check if you are correct. Numbers that cannot be expressed as quotient of two numbers. So, irrational numbers is the reverse or the opposite of rational numbers. We cannot convert irrational numbers into fraction, into decimal, and vice versa. So, what are the examples of irrational numbers? So, examples or the most common example of irrational number is the pi and the square root of 2. How come that these numbers are irrational? Because if we are going to simplify them and convert this into decimal, they will fall under the non-terminating and non-repeating decimals. These are the decimals that do not have pattern. These are the decimals that do not have repeated digits in them. That's why it is very impossible for us to convert it into one form and another. Okay? So, in summary, this is the family of the real number system. So, we have two different circles, the rational and irrational numbers. And under the rational numbers are your fractions, decimals, integers, whole numbers, and natural numbers. And now that you are familiar with the real number system, I know that you are now ready with the process or with our main topic, which is the conversion of fraction into decimal. And converting of fraction to decimal is very easy. All you have to do is to change a rational number in fraction form by dividing the numerator by the denominator. The numerator is the dividend and the denominator is the divisor. Let's take a look on the first example. Convert 1/4 into its decimal form. So again, the numerator is 1. Then that 1 will serve as our dividend. 4 is the divisor, which is the denominator. Ma'am, it is very easy. I'll just press it in my cell phone or in my calculator. But it's very important to show your solution always. So how are we going to do it with the solution? We will go back to the basic of dividing numbers. The one that you are doing when you are still in the elementary. So we are going to divide 1 and then 4, put that under our division symbol. So 1 will be placed inside and 4 will stay outside. Okay? So we will now start dividing. 1 divided by 4 is 0. And then multiplying the quotient, 0 times 4 is 0. You will write it under 1. 1 minus 0 is 1. So since we cannot get a quotient out of that, we will be writing or extending our division. So we are going to write a decimal point after 1 and 0. And then we will bring down an imaginary 0 so that we can just have or we can form 10. So 10 divided by 4 is 2, correct? 2, then after that multiply. 2 times 4 is 8. You are going to write it below 10. So 10 minus 8 is 2. And then again, you are going to bring down another 0. So 20 divided by 4 is 5. Multiplying 5 and the divisor 4, 5 times 4 is 20. So subtracting it, the answer is 0. So we do not have a remainder. So therefore, the fraction or the decimal form of 1/4 is 0.25. But there are also instances wherein the division process is continuous. And please just get the desired place of the decimal as instructed by your teacher. Okay? Let's try example 2. The second example, sorry. That is example 2. So express 2/5 as a decimal. So again, following the process, 2 will stay inside, that is the dividend, and 5 is the divisor. So 2 divided by 5, again, that is 0. And 0 times 5 is 0. So you are going to subtract 2 minus 0 is 2. And what will be the next? Alright, you are correct. We are going to put the decimal point and then bring down 0. So proceeding the division process, 20 divided by 5 is 4. 4 times 5 is 20. So 20 minus 20 is 0. So therefore, the decimal form of 2 over 5 is 0.4. That is quite easy if you have mastered your division during your elementary days. So, and I am also going to present to you another or an alternative solution on how to do this. That is just simply multiplying the fraction but by a number to make the denominator a power of 10. So in this process or in this alternative solution, our goal is that to make the denominator a multiple or on the power of 10. So it's whether it is a 10, 100, 1000, etc. So since the denominator is 5, so we will just multiply it by 2 to make it 10. So that's why we have multiplied it there, 2 over 2, both the numerator and denominator. So you have 2 times 2 is equal to 4, and then 5 times 2 is equal to 10. And then simplifying or going back to the process a while back, so 4 divided by 10 is 0.4. As you can see, we get the same answer. But the choice is yours. It is up to you which process or which solution you are going to use. Just pick the solution wherein you are more comfortable with. Okay, so it is now time for your activity. Let us test what you have learned in this lesson. Okay, so the first part of your activity is you are going to identify rational and irrational numbers. Okay, just write rational or irrational on your paper. So for number 1, you have 2.25. Is it rational or not? Number 2, square root of 5. Number 3, negative 0.33 dot 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 dot, or that is repeated. Number 4 is pi, and number 5, 1 over 5. So if you are going to answer this, what will be the correct answers? Let's check your answer. So you have rational. For number 1, 2.25 is rational. Number 2, square root of 5 is irrational because we will be getting non-terminating and non-repeating decimal if we are going to convert the square root of 5 into decimal. Number 3, negative 0.3333 is rational because it is repeating decimal. Number 4, pi. Very obvious, that is irrational. And number 5, 1 over 5 is rational number. The next activity will be your assignment. So I have written here the answer. So 1, 3 over 4 is equivalent to 0.75. And number 2, 24 over 7 is equal to 3.43. So you are going to show your solution to your teacher, okay? Write your solutions on your answers or paper, answer sheets or paper, and then submit it to your teacher. And as we end, I want to congratulate you for unlocking another difficulty and competency on your Math 7 journey. So congratulations once again. Goodbye and God bless.